So, here's one for you. How do you make a paladin float? That's right. Big glass of root beer and 2 fresh scoops of paladin. I'm sorry, you know what? That was way funnier in my head. Sorry. Hello everybody and welcome to DMNoob. I am Mike, I am the DMNoob, and I would like to welcome you here. This is our first episode, and so I know all of you have questions that are going through your head, like, who is this guy? Why am I here? Why am I watching this? What's this channel all about? Why should I listen to him? What's he gonna teach me? What's Kobe Bryant's shoe size? Oh, patience, stop yelling at me. I'll get there. But let me give you a rundown, first of all, of who I am, and it will kind of lead into why we're doing what we're doing and what this channel is all about. As I said, my name is Mike, and let's set the Wayback Machine. I was born in the glorious decade of the 70s, about midway through, and I wear that like a badge of honor. Being a 70s child is glorious, which means I kind of grew up in the 80s. Which was a time before screens were everywhere. I had a family who was very much family time oriented, and we were big game people. We loved playing games. Our go-tos were things like Yahtzee, Racco, Sorry, games like that. We were not big Monopoly people because we loved each other. But so I was raised in a family where gaming was a big thing and spending time together was a very big thing. And I'm very grateful for that. Now, I had a very set group of friends when I was growing up, as we all did. It was Shane, Troy, Chris, Steve, and Mark. Hi guys, if any of you ever see this, which I doubt. But, so we started getting into RPGs, the role-playing games. Now, being that we were all 10 years old or something like that, we loved to play, but we didn't want to get hampered down by things as trivial as reading the rules. For God's sakes, who does that when you're 10 years old? And we played a lot of different games to the best of our ability. I really enjoyed Top Secret and this one. I still have it. And we played some D&D, kind of. We tried to play some D&D. We were miserable at it, but it didn't care because we had way too much fun and got into way too much trouble probably. But we had a good time, and that's all that really mattered. And late 80s, early 90s, I started getting into a huge BattleTech phase. Boy, I became obsessed with that game. I still love it, but I had I had the box sets, I had the books, I had the mechs, which I couldn't paint. Because I sucked at it, and I'm still not that great, but I've gotten better. We're going to talk about that later. So I played that a lot, and then after I got married, kind of fell in with a new group of friends and started playing new games. I'd play things like GURPS and Shadowrun, and games like that. I never really got back into D&D, but we did play a lot of Men in Black, which was crazy fun. That ended in some horrible tragedies that one day I'll tell you about. So I've been gaming for a long time, for many decades. Now, fast forward to 6 months ago. My youngest daughter, who's in high school, she had joined the D&D club at school. And she would listen a lot on her phone and on her tablet and her damn headphones, to Critical Role. And she would talk to me every damn day, about the silken god that is Matt Mercer and the cool things he'd done today. So I got her this. This is brilliant. For new players and for DMs, this is brilliant. This is a fantastic way to get into the game. Now, I'd never DM'd before. I was way too chicken shit to DM throughout all my gaming. No, God, no, I never DM a game. Are you kidding? I was way too chicken shit to even try. But now my family wanted to play. I had bought this thing and my family wanted to play, so I figured I better learn. And I fell into it, and I fell madly in love with DMing and running the game. Now, I had spent 20 plus years as a magician. I performed all over the country. I traveled, I did TV, I hobnobbed with celebs. I did all of that. Now, the skills to being a good magician and a good mentalist were being able to read a room, being able to think on your feet, being able to project confidence, being able to bullshit your way through a situation on the fly. Sound familiar? I think the skill set came pretty quickly. Now, I then, shortly after buying this, I bought the Holy Trilogy of the DM Guide, the Player Guide, the Monster Guide, and I started getting all of this stuff. And I DM'd some games for some friends and absolutely loved it. And then a while later, I put together my first big game, and it's called the Bountiful D&D Crew. What a group, and what a lot of fun we had. Now, and still have, we still meet every week, or we try to meet every week. But so it started me thinking about, I'm pretty new at this, but I was learning so much. And when I was in Magic, I would learn from the big masters. I'd learn their secrets and I'd learn their techniques, but more importantly, the techniques that weren't the tricks. I'd learned how to manage a room, how to manage an audience member, how to read people, how to get in control of a situation. And I wanted to take some of that to my games. On top of that, I wanted to take sleight of hand and magic IRL into my games. And so that's kind of where this idea came from, because when I was learning from these magicians at these conventions or get-togethers, I'd figure out that I'd learn a lot from them, but I'd also learn so much from the new guys that were just picking up a deck. They were just learning. There's things that they'd figure out and things that they'd do, or skills that they would bring to the table that were different, that were new, that I was unaware of. And I learned so much from them. And that's where the concept of this channel came from, because I'm not a hugely experienced DM. I don't know where every comma is on every page of every manual. God, no. But I can tell a story, and that's what mattered. And so that's where the idea for this came from. What I want to do is take a lot of the things that I've learned from other things, and a lot of the things that I've learned about this game and making the game special, and bring them to you from the perspective of a new guy to a new guy. And I think it's a good concept, and we'll see how it goes. Now, what I want to do with this channel is, well, a lot of things. I want to share with you, probably most importantly, the things that I've screwed up and the things that I have learned to not do, because those I think are some of the most critical. But then I want to do videos on things about how to manage a room, how to manage players, how to manage situations that come up, how to deal with the rules lawyer or the meta player, how to deal with just the apocalyptic pain in the ass guy. Because I didn't have, when I was in the magic business, I didn't have days and weeks to work with these people like I do now. I had seconds to figure out how to get them in my corner. And so I want to talk about things like that. And then I want to do some videos on actual sleight of hand and teach you guys some magic, just some simple things that you can add into your campaigns. If you're an NPC or you're a big baddie, just little things that you can use to accentuate your games that will make a mark for those players. My players in a couple of my groups still talk about that first adventure when they saw a coin vanish. And it's those little things that made a difference. And, you know, in all of the time now that I've been gaming, and I've done a number of games and a number of people, number of groups, I haven't lost anybody. Nobody's buggered off and said, screw you. So I think I'm doing something okay. or it could be the donuts and soda. It might be. Or it could have just be the, I'm not good. No. But so that in a nutshell is what I want to share with you. I want to share with you guys what I do differently and what I try to bring to the table. Now, that begs the question, oh, he's just a new guy. He doesn't really know what he's doing. Why should I listen to him? Why shouldn't I go and listen to all of the other guys that are on YouTube? Hundreds of channels talk about this stuff. Why shouldn't I watch them? Do. Definitely do. I learned so much from YouTube and podcasts and stuff. Watch them all, because the more you watch, the more you learn. And you can never have too much learning in this game, or in anything in life. I firmly believe that. You can never overdo it with learning. So watch all of them. I listen to live plays. I listen to Critical Role. I listen to Not Another D&D Podcast, NADPod, with Brian Murphy. Brilliant stuff. Certainly not how to control a game on that, because the antics are pretty crazy, but how to make your game be enjoyable. Brilliant. Probably the best out there is the Dungeon Master Dojo with those three guys. They are oracles. Between the three of them, there is over 100 years of DMing experience. Sorry guys, I don't mean to say you're old, but so what I'd also like to do is hear from you guys what you'd like to see, what you'd like to experience, what you'd like me to talk about and talk about with me. Please comment, write me notes and say, you suck, or this is ridiculous, or hey, this is kind of cool, because that gives me a good lead into where I want to go and what I want to do. So please feel free to contact me and share with me. Let me know what we can learn together. That's one of the biggest things to me, is that I can reach out and be learning this with you. And hopefully you'll be able to learn something from me. Now, I want this to be worth it to you. And that, I think, from all of the lessons I've had in life, if we wanted to start episode 1 with a lesson, this would be number 1, and by far the most important. When I think about this, and I learned this from some of my mentors in the magic business, but when I really think on this lesson, I think about my father. And the week of February 8th, 2018. And my father was the man my dad, was the man who instilled in me a love for enjoying life and to make every moment count, and to make sure that you mix the work with the fun, and that you make sure to take time to be you. That was such an important lesson to me. Now, I was leaving out of town for a convention on the 6th of February, and I saw my dad just before I left. I hugged him, kissed him on the forehead, and said, I'll see you in 3 days. No funny business. Well, I'm gone. On the 8th at 6 p.m., I got the call just a few minutes before I was going on stage that we had lost him and that he was gone. And it re-instilled in me that time is the most important thing we have. And I think about what I wouldn't give for a few more hours. What if he had had one more day and I'd have a few more hours with him? And you think about that with anybody. Think about John or Bobby Kennedy. Think about Abraham Lincoln. What would they give for just one more hour? One more hour. What would they give? I bet you anything. You now have a group of 4, 5, 6 players who are coming to you every week or every fortnight and giving you that time, that precious, precious time out of their life. Make it worth it. You have an obligation. Do everything you can to make that time worth it to them. That's one of the things I want to help you with. So I appreciate you listening to me rattle on for a few minutes, and I hope that I will see you again. I have lots of ideas, so please send me your ideas as well before I run out. And please like, comment, share, subscribe, all of that stuff. Hit the icons and all of that jazz, because it strokes my ego so well. And it makes me want to do more. So thank you, everybody. God bless, and I will see you again soon.